Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you, even though we can't see you, but excited to get to talk about some of the amazing things that the body can do. I mean, there's no better way to spend the morning than talking about how amazing the human body is. I'm Lisa Barnes. I'm the Vice President of Regulatory and Research and Development at LifeVantage. I've been here for almost 3 years now and feel like I'm living and breathing activation every single day and so excited to join you today. But I'm not alone. I get to be here today with one of my favorite people who is a member of my SAB, Dr. Jessica Buhler. And so I just want to give you a little bit of an introduction to her so you can kind of know who you're going to be getting this amazing information from. So I'm going to read a little bit of what she provided me. So she's married to Matt. She has 5 children and owns her own chiropractic business. She's in rural central South Dakota. She has her doctorate in chiropractic with additional certifications in acupuncture and NAET, and that's an allergy elimination technique. She partnered with LifeVantage in 2017, and she's on my scientific advisory board and is a fantastic contributor there. She's always intentionally curious and looking for ways to improve health naturally. She's passionate about this technology, and I can account for that. I hear her passion all of the time and appreciate it. And she's passionate about empowering others to take control of their health and their life with the LifeVantage opportunity. So welcome, Jess. It's so good to see you, and I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Oh, I am so honored to be here with you, Lisa. And I love LifeVantage, our products, and what this research and development team provides is just amazing, really. It truly is. It's solutions to problems. And I love that we can help the body work as it was designed here. And yes, so just really honored to be here.
Yeah, thank you. LifeVantage is truly a unique place where as a research and development department, we actually get to partner really closely with those in our field and specifically with healthcare professionals to ensure that not only are we coming up with like groundbreaking technologies, but we're also making sure to always connect into that like need that people have and what the problems everyday people face, because you can come up with the best technology in the world, but if you do not actually solve someone's problem or help improve their life in any way, it's not worth spending the time on it. So I like having that real life connection to actual people's health. It makes it personal, it makes it meaningful. But today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of people have been really interested in, which is about GLP-1. So kind of the unofficial title for this is GLP-1, a powerful, lesser known hormone that might be more important than you think. So we're going to dive in, and you may stay tuned because you may learn a few things that you didn't know, even though if you've seen it in the media or you've even done trainings with us before. So, okay, Jess, let's start with what is GLP-1?
So, GLP-1 is a hormone, a peptide that is created in your small intestine and also in your brain. And it's just really your colon and your small intestine are where we make the most of it, but it's this connection, this intimate connection that really how we were designed, our brain and spinal cord, and then this mesh of nerves that came out to form in our gut. And this old, rudimentary system is in place, and this chemical is what allows for the most of that communication that we see happening between the brain and the gut, and therefore everything in the body. So we see regulation of appetite, of insulin, helping to make healthy blood sugar levels and digestion. It's just really powerful. And honestly, we hear about GLP-1 now as a buzzword and a term that is just everywhere. You see it all over the place. But what it's known mostly for are its advantages when it comes to weight, establishing a healthy weight and body composition. But there are just so many more benefits of GLP-1, and that's partly because it's not only produced in the in the small and large intestine and then affects everything through the brain and elsewhere in the body. There's receptors for GLP-1
Mhm.
in so many places. So I think that's one of the cool things about GLP-1 is when people start, they may have this anticipation of the end goal being weight, but the
Mhm.
body is so intelligent. It's so intelligent. Even our design, you guys, from where this hormone is created, all the things that it can impact, and then where the receptors are located in the body. We have the brain and the gut, of course. Those are the ones we're focusing on to some degree, but we also see their receptors in our muscle tissue, in our on our heart, in our pancreas, our liver, our kidneys. I mean, you could just sit here and talk about this little interplay of that. And it's lesser known hormone. We talk about hormones, we think of like our sex hormones, like
Mhm.
estrogen, testosterone, that kind of thing. Or we think of our glandulars, our thyroid and our adrenals and our pituitary. Or then we think about hunger hormone, ghrelin, and we think about these other interplays, but GLP-1 has such a dynamic relationship with all of them. All
Mhm.
of them. And so I think the beautiful thing about GLP-1 is that it's just so pivotal in so many different aspects that when people really look at GLP-1, they can see this far-reaching impact.
Yeah, I think the first thing that kind of I want to dive into is what you were talking about, the connectedness of the body. So I think so often we think of health as very specific systems. You go to a doctor for your heart, you go to a doctor for your brain, you go to a doctor for all these different things. So you tend to think of these systems as being siloed, or you think of a hormone like GLP-1 as being siloed. Okay. It does this and it does it on its own, but the body is so connected. And so you have to look at health as this overall connectivity of systems and hormones and other messengers. Otherwise, you're missing out on what really impacts health. And I think more and more people are becoming aware of that. They're understanding that you have to look at health in a holistic way and not just look at symptom management. But I think that's a really important thing to call out here is even though the title of this is GLP-1, I think you need to think of how GLP-1 is connected to everything.
I agree.
So kind of, yeah. So kind of moving on, like there's a lot of solutions for GLP-1 out there, a lot of synthetic solutions, but there's also this brand new world that LifeVantage has really been diving into, which is activation. So what do you really see as the difference between kind of some of this synthetic approach and true activation of the GLP-1 hormone?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think just fundamentally, I'd love to just say like a description between supplementation versus
Mhm.
activation, right? With supplementation, we just take something to fulfill a deficiency. It's like you have a glass of water and it's a little low, so you can fill it up with the water, right? But when we look at activation, we actually take something so our body will make something. So we literally turn on that ability within our cells to start producing it again. And so when it comes specifically to GLP-1, activation versus synthetic solutions, the synthetic, a supplement's a little different than a synthetic, right? So one is made in a lab and one is more natural. But these synthetic things, it's similar to that, filling that cup idea. We're just giving the body a big blast of it and then seeing what it does with it. And with activation of GLP-1, we are turning on our body's ability to do it again, like it once was.
Mhm.
And the thing about it is we see the need for activation come with the toxicity of our environment,
Mhm.
and just our lifestyle choices, and it's not to blame or call anyone out specifically, they're not doing the right things or something like that. It's more to just realize that as we live in the environment we live in, that is going to go down no matter who you are. And so activation is just crucial for everyone, because it just interplays in so many ways. So synthetic, again, just like pouring it in, give the body a big blast and see what it can do with it. And it's it's other than your natural version of it. When you produce your own, it fits perfectly in those receptors. It fits amazingly instead of something that is created to be kind of like it. It is the real deal, and I think that's one really cool thing too with it.
Oh, I think that's awesome. Yeah, I think and that even goes beyond GLP-1 to so many other areas, and that's why LifeVantage's differentiation is activation because there's so many things that get out of balance with age and with stress and everything that we face day to day that just needs that nudging to get brought back into balance to really approach it from a long-term health solution perspective. So, bringing that activation approach to all of these different issues that we deal with, in this case, GLP-1. Now, with GLP-1, you were talking about some of the benefits like helping to regulate appetite, helping with blood sugar balance, all of those pieces, but you were teasing that it goes far beyond that. Can you expound upon that a little bit? What are some of those other benefits that we keep finding out that GLP-1 helps provide?
Oh, totally. So, and I think we could spend a long time on just this category, but like bullet
Yeah,
pointing,
perfect.
yeah, but the bullet pointing, I mean, I think the neuroprotectivity, that the protection of our brain. I mean, ultimately, we need to have our brain functioning in order for our other systems to function as well. So, having some protection to our brain cells is big. We also see cardio protection, to, protection of our heart, and the ability of our muscles to get sugar in and out as well. So our ability to move, and we know that movement is life. As if
Mhm.
we get to the point where we are unable to move, we get closer and closer to our death. We also see improvements in sleep with this. Sleep is huge. I mean, you can go days without eating, but you can hardly go any days without sleeping.
Yeah.
And quality of our sleep, also then greatly impacts the amount of GLP-1 we're able to produce on
Oh,
our own, and so many other hormones. So, but neuroprotection, cardioprotection, benefits for our sleep, and then also the interplay with so many other hormones. Again, that those glandulars, those sex hormones specific to male or female, and just the dynamic, and our skeletal muscles. There's just um, those are the big ones, I think. I mean, there's more. There really are, but those are kind of the big deals. Mood
mhm.
too. Mood totally changes. And think about that. If you can have a healthy, stable blood sugar levels for longer, your mood is bound to be better because you're getting that sugar into those cells the way that they should be too. So just so many changes. So many changes, and what I think is interesting too is so quickly with our products. I have patients respond back, is this even possible? This could happen this quickly. And, with activation, absolutely. It can be very quick that you start to notice changes. And then obviously, longer that people take something and have those pathways activated, the more the benefits come.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's key to remember GLP-1, it doesn't work in isolation. It's working with other hormones and other systems throughout your body. And it isn't just about weight. It's so much more than that. It's going to play roles in how full you feel, how your blood sugar responds, your brain's reward system. That's a really cool area of research that's happening currently. Like how do you feel happy? How do you feel rewarded based on what you do or what you intake? And then also, like you said, those health of other organs, your brain, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, you keep adding on and on. And the more research they do, it's fascinating to see how many connections there are. But GLP-1 is important, but there is that kind of fluctuation that happens to individuals. And can you kind of talk about some of the factors that will impact your GLP-1 levels?
Oh, definitely. So age is one, right? Age is a huge one. As we age, the production goes down. So that inverse relationship. And then we also see it fluctuate, based on your weight, and your gender. Even your gender makes a difference in this one. And then of course it's your microbiome, and not just yours, the one you were born with and given that you got from your mother, and then your biome as it moves on in life and the different things that happen to you. But it's just we all start somewhere. So when we see those fluctuations based on the things that are happening in our life and what is happening to you, your stress level is a huge
Yeah.
one here too, that we see impacting it, the quality of your sleep, the amount of movement you do, the food choices that you're putting in. There's just a lot of factors that can impact your GLP-1. um Processed foods really decrease, where we see eating whole foods increases. So there's just kind of a the lifestyle, the nutrition choices. There's just so many lifestyle factors we could list here that influence it, and it makes sense, right? Like, it's being produced in your gut. Anything that can affect your biome is going to affect it, and all the things that happen to you, even your thoughts and your feelings are going to impact what's going on here too.
Yeah, very much so. I think people don't realize how much everything in our body is affected by everything that's going on around us, everything we put in our body, everything we experience. The gut is such an interesting field that people are just learning more and more about. Like, I keep seeing new books and new research coming out just talking about how the gut is really a source of health. And people just don't think about their gut microbiome and what they're putting in, and like some of the medication they take that impacts microbiome, the food they take that impacts the microbiome, like stress levels, like you were saying. And if you don't address that root cause of health, it has so many tendrils out to other things that really can impact your quality of life. So, before we kind of go into some of the products that could impact that, because obviously we have those and we want to talk about that, you started hinting a little bit at some of the lifestyle pieces that can impact GLP-1 positively, but let's dive in a little bit more. So, I'm really interested in GLP-1. I obviously will talk about product, but I just want to start with some everyday things that I can do to help boost it. What do I do, Jess?
So I think you start with adequate sleep, 100% adequate sleep. Finding ways to decrease your stress levels, whatever that looks like for you. If that's prayer, if it's meditation, it's movement, it's breath work, just find and incorporate ways to decrease your stress. Eating whole foods, and making sure we increase our protein intake as well. The amount of protein, especially women, tend to undereat protein, and some men tend to overeat protein. So there's a healthy balance in there to increase your GLP-1. You need adequate protein. The other thing is, we by eating whole foods, we get not only the big nutrients like proteins, carbs, and fats, but we also get the micronutrients that are necessary to run different parts of our bodies as well. Um, Let's see. Weightlifting is a great one to add in. Drinking adequate water, intermittent fasting, hot and cold therapies are great too. Things like infrared sauna or cold plunges. There's a lot of things that honestly do help to increase your GLP-1 production. Avoiding processed foods completely, or limiting them as much as you can. I mean, those are some of the general ones.
Yeah.
And it's not to say, like, do all these things. If you're
Yes.
only doing a few of them, it's not like, wow, you've got to do all these things to increase GLP-1. You might be thinking in your mind, like, who wants to do that? Or maybe you're already that health nut and you already do all those things, and they're like, yay, there's another tool I could add, right? But you're just kind of, you start with those things that make a big difference for you, and you get really good at one, and then you can add more, and you keep building on your own healthy lifestyle as you go.
Yeah, it's step by step. I think a lot of times we are an all or nothing society. So, and I think especially in the arena of weight. Okay, I'm doing well on all my things. I'm doing well, and then I have a bad day. Okay, well, we're just done with this because I've already failed. We don't give ourselves a lot of grace. Um, we sometimes do that in other areas, but not with weight or not with health. So it's all about waking up that day, choosing to do the small things every day. If it doesn't work out one day, then waking up the next day and doing the next right thing again, and giving yourself that grace to fail and the grace to just be like, okay, I can pick back up and we can do this again the next day. And it's okay. It doesn't change my worth as a person. I'm still an amazing human being, but like, I'm human. So I can start the next day fresh, clean slate, and start adding in these habits again. And then, like you said, you take one, you master it, it's incorporated into your DNA, and then you add in the next thing. It doesn't need to be this onslaught of so many changes at once that feel overwhelming, because you have a lot of other life to live too, and you need to make sure that there's balance with everything so it's sustainable. Because I think the key with weight loss or anything with health is sustainability. Because we can do a lot of things for a really short time, but it's hard to incorporate these changes long term. And so we need to incorporate them in a way that they do become a part of our DNA. So I think there's these lifestyle things that we can add. Drink some more water, make sure you're having some of that sleep hygiene to be able to sleep, stress, really that self-care. But what are some things you can do on the product side to really activate and come alongside your body and optimize these processes so that GLP-1 levels are more balanced and you experience the benefits of them?
Yes. So this mind body GLP-1 system is just a game changer. And, we could see that coming in the research. And, that's one thing I just love about this company is we do the research and then we get patents to protect our recipes and to show that we actually did do something different than just taking the ingredients separately. And
Mhm.
then we get results. And this mind body system is following that same pattern that our products that have been developed before do that. And I really love that. But our mind body system was shown to increase GLP-1 production by 140%. And that's unheard of. There are no other companies making products that can give that statement, and just that alone is huge. But what does 140% increase mean to you?
Yeah.
And it can be so different, and part of that is because of what we just talked about and the GLP-1 fluctuations. What's your age, what's your weight, what was the state of your microbiome when you started, and when or are those exact things going to be happening for you? So where were your GLP-1 levels when you started? How low were you, or how high were you? Where did things come? And those lifestyle things, were you already doing 25 of those, or were you only doing two? And there's just a lot of interplay. But what I love about adding these products is you can add products no matter where you start and
Mhm.
start getting benefits, and you're still going to get that increase in 140. What that means for you is you're going to start to see some of those things, those changes happening in all those systems that it impacts, and that overall hormone balance, and it just works with the body's innate intelligence to support it. So we can, you can just see, we've seen changes, oh, jeepers, in so many things. It's like, wow, when you really start talking about it, I'm just getting this Rolodex of things coming, but loss of pounds, loss of inches, a better relationship with food. And man, if that was the only thing people got from taking this, that would be just incredible. Any of these things, right? But better relationship with food, less hunger, less cravings, um, change in body composition in general, and all with zero muscle loss. Wow. I mean, wow. There's just really, again, there's very few that are going to have studies that are showing these things with this and have the data to back up what's happening in the body. Better sleep, which then makes your biome better, and all those other things are
It's
starting to
my
change
puzzle.
too. Yeah, exactly. Better mood. I've seen changes in mood, and you know said conditions, might say, with your brain, where they're just some of those symptoms and things that they were noticing are just starting to disappear and dissipate when they get this product working in their body and they get this hormone activated like it should be. But then I also, it's hard for me to talk about mind body without talking about NRF2.
Yeah.
and obviously that's why I'm here. That was why I originally partnered with this company, was with that product. And so I love that then we put out another study with the combination of those two. And so we see then the interplay of the pathways, just their benefits independently, because we have those studies. But then when we put them together, it's like, bam, this whole nother arena of benefits opened. Four more pathways relative for our oxidative stress level. I mean, that's our cellular damage. The more of that we have, again, the closer we are to death. So
Oh
the
my God.
less of it we can have, the better. And we get that. And then we also see more pathways relative to fat and fatty acid metabolism. And then probably even more important to my heart is the 22 pathways relative to organ repair and healing. This is just, it's so incredible and far reaching when we put the two together.
Yeah.
And we know NRF2 has its own benefits body wide as well. No cell is, devoid of having oxidative stress impact it.
Mm.
So when we can get these two working together, we see that change too. And then, one of my other foundational products, and I promise I'll give you a break here after I talk about this one, is our liquid collagen. And this really is like my foundation for everyone, even though Mind Body is mind blowing, is always NRF2 and our liquid collagen. And even if Mind Body is your goal, increasing your GLP-1 is your goal, starting with that foundation of NRF2 and collagen, or NRF2 collagen and Mind Body, if you can do all three at once. But that foundation of NRF2 and collagen, again, studies independently on our collagen, study on our NRF2 and collagen together, and same thing happened. This boom, this study was just incredible. And so you see that 100% increase in your collagen density in just 8 weeks. And then you also see a decrease in the stress response, the stress perpetuation, by a third. Did we just not talk about how huge stress is on everything in the body, right? So,
Oh,
and the microbiome included. And so the tight junctions in our gut, they're made of collagen. Everything from your mouth all the way out. It's more than just skin, hair, and nails. It's brain. It's all of our lines. So there's so much that goes into really, not just thinking about the far reaching benefits of GLP-1 and our products and activation in general, but also just thinking about weight and the interplay of that too. And that's where I really see this foundation being such a huge thing for people, is when they look at GLP-1 as the buzz of weight. We have more than weight that we can offer, and more um, directions that we can take to impact that end outcome. And that's one of the huge things I think LifeVantage has going for it as well. In the GLP-1 arena, is we have other tools that you can have in your tool belt that make your process and your addition to your lifestyle choices just that much more magnified.
no, I 100% agree. It really kind of harkens back to what we were talking about earlier in our discussion, that the body isn't just organs that work independently and that there's no interactions. There's constantly interplay with all the systems in our body and all the different hormones in our body. And so it makes complete sense that if you take different activators that are activating different systems in your body and different key compounds, key proteins, key peptides in your body, and you combine them together, that you're going to see these amazing synergies and impact overall health, because you're not just laser focused on one specific hormone. You're looking at your whole body health, approaching it from multiple areas. If anyone's ever talked to me about how I approach product development, I'm always talking about multi-mechanistic development, because I believe that if you're really going to help someone experience change in their health, you need to approach it from multiple angles, because there's always so many things going on in the body that if you just go through one pathway, you're going to see an impact. But if you go through three pathways, so if you're increasing collagen, you're decreasing oxidative stress, you're increasing GLP-1, they are all going to magnify each other, and you're going to experience so much more demonstrability. You're going to feel the benefits so much stronger than you would with just one alone. So it's really, once again, approaching your health as a whole person and all of your systems versus just saying laser focused on, I want this one thing, because your health is so much more than just one thing, which I think is, like you said, a strength of LifeVantage, because we're always looking at, we've created these amazing activators. How do they interplay together, and where do those synergies and new benefits arise
Come on.
when you combine them together?
Yes. And and that's just our foundation. We have more here than that too. We have our NRF1 and NAD and fat burn activators. And then we also have omegas, and we have our whole regimen of gut biome support too, from prebiotics and probiotics, and even our daily wellness, which is essentially a postbiotic too. We just have so many things that we can tweak and shift along the way,
Mhm.
but we have that great foundation to lay down for you, and then add what you need to support your body with what's going on with you. And yes, LifeVantage is just such a magnificent job of looking at that and finding the ways that the pathways interact, and helping develop products where they do interplay, and we can not only just think that it does, but really see it in the studies, and then also again then see it in our outcomes. And that's one really cool aspect of that too.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Well, we've been chatting for a bit, so I want to make sure that this podcast episode is enough, that it fits nicely in you guys' commute, or as you're cleaning your house, or whatever you're doing. It's a nice bite-sized bit of science and information on this hormone. So just to kind of recap a few things that we've talked about, GLP-1, it's a powerful hormone. It's tied to fullness, metabolism, weight, but so much more. It's tied to neuroprotective, cardioprotective, impacts to health of other organs throughout your entire body. It's focused down in the colon and the intestines. So it's really a gut health and a gut brain connection story. And it can be impacted by so many factors, the life that we live. But good news is that there's something you can do about it when it is depleted. You can support it through some of the lifestyle tips that Jess gave: better sleep, better food, better quality of food, lowering stress through self-care. But you have these amazing tools of these activators that can go right to the source, work alongside your body's natural processes, and help you to be able to perform at the level that your body was made to in every single aspect. So that's kind of the main points. Jess, before we kind of end for today, what's kind of your final word to the listeners about this hormone, about activation, all of those pieces in general?
Yeah. I think it's a unicorn. It's a unicorn hormone, and activation is a unicorn concept. And this is the unicorn company. I mean, we really just are. There are thousands of supplements out there, and we are the only activation company. And we do it different, and we get different results. And just really looking at GLP-1 for more than weight, so beyond weight. It has so many benefits then in the body when we can see what really happens there. And I just think when you think about a unicorn versus a horse, you just see this totally different picture, right? And that is what it is here. It's just something so totally and completely different, but just so magical when you really see what can happen in your body when it's activated versus just supplementing or synthetically
Yeah.
working with it.
Completely agree. Well, thank you so much, Jess, for joining us today, giving us your expertise and your passion for activation, and just for helping people really get to the root of what's going on in their body and live to like the potential that they want to, the life that they want to live, the quality of life. So everyone, kind of next steps, share this episode with those who may need these insights, and continue to follow this podcast, Activation Nation, for more science-backed insights. There's lots of other resources too, so browse around some LifeVantage website, look at some of the products, and thank you so much, and continue to follow us for more information. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Activation Nation podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for future episodes and updates, and share with a friend or prospect that you think could benefit from today's conversation. Check the episode description for any links or disclaimers, and we'll see you next week for another episode. And now, the legal stuff. The statements made have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary. Results may vary. Typical weight loss using this product in a 12-week weight management program is 1 to 2 pounds per week. This product should be used in conjunction with a healthy diet and regular exercise. Consult with a healthcare provider before starting any weight loss program.